Steve, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Friday at Four podcast. How are you?
All right, Charles. How are you doing? Love
I'm doing,
Fridays.
yeah, doing pretty good, man. I'm settling in with this Friday at Four stuff, man. This is good. I love it.
It is 4 o'clock somewhere,
It's
so
four
it's
o'clock
it's
somewhere.
almost that time for the 5 o'clock Fred Flintstone whistle. So we're almost there.
I love it. So I noticed it's been a little bit busy out here today. Is it from holiday shopping or is it just Friday? This is the second Friday before Christmas. So I'm assuming that's what the traffic's for.
I think, and again, I'm in New York City or just outside New York City, and I think it's just the time of the season. It's gridlock everywhere, which is a good thing because people are out, they're shopping, they're hopefully shopping small businesses because that's really the backbone of this country, not the major corporations.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that's what it is. I think I mean, we've already passed it, but they call the end of the last Friday after Thanksgiving Black Friday for a reason because not people, businesses use that day to make enough sales to carry them the rest of the year when things are slow. So the fact that people are out shopping, from my perspective, is a good thing because they're keeping, and again, hopefully small business, but they're keeping businesses going, which means people are employed, merchandise is moving, a lot of things are happening. So, don't discount the fact that you're helping a small business. You're helping your family, you're making kids smile, adults smile, and that's always great. But
Yeah.
but don't discount the business.
Yeah, the crazy thing was I took my youngest daughter out for lunch earlier, and the shopping center where we were shopping at, there was not one empty parking space. I've never seen that shopping center like that,
Nice.
even up to the day of Christmas, the Christmas Eve. That parking lot has never been like that. I think that's a good sign that people are shopping, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that's good. Yeah, it's good for
I
business.
also went yesterday. I went with my daughter and we had some stuff to do. So we went into this big shopping center, which I think I'd been in once or twice before. Also packed. So on one end was a Five Below, packed. Then we walked down and we found a Panera. And then we went a little bit further into ShopRite. So we did some grocery shopping. But the parking lot was packed. And again, good thing.
I hope you stay away from the crowds with that shoulder.
Well, actually, what we did was she stayed on my left side to try to keep people from bumping into me.
Yeah,
I did
good.
not have this thing on, so people couldn't see because it really didn't fit over my coat.
Yeah,
But I put my left hand into my coat pocket so that I wouldn't purposely wouldn't use it and stretch the wrong way. And
yeah,
she was on my left side to try to keep people from banging into me. A little
yeah.
uncomfortable, but it's okay.
You
We'll
made
get
it.
through it.
You're still here. You made it. It's good.
I still made it. Didn't smack too many people, so things were good. Okay.
Right. Not like up in going to Manhattan where I was on Sunday and Monday. He said, I'm not even going to do it.
I know we were going to try to meet up, but you understood with my shoulder, if I don't wear the brace, I'm a moving target for people because it's so crowded. And when I do wear the brace, frankly, it's so crowded, people, even if they want to steer clear, they can't because there's
And
people behind them pushing them. So it
yeah.
was just better off for me just for this year. Next year you come in, I'll meet you. But for this year, it just didn't work.
Yeah, let me tell you, it's a blessing because we got knocked around a lot.
Did
And
you?
Times Square it was ridiculous. Even the cops were saying this is the worst year they've ever seen. It's getting worse. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. It was we had a great time. It was awesome, but even the cops said this is the worst we've ever seen it. It was pretty crowded. It was bad. The people
So,
pushing and shoving, and yeah, it was crazy.
so you mentioned little trivia question I found out last night.
Uh-oh.
Little trivia. Take it for what you will. In New Year's Eve in Times Square, they dropped the ball. What's the first year they dropped the ball?
1932.
1907.
Yeah, that was
Actually, my
close.
son guessed 1903. He was close.
He was real close.
He was close.
Wow,
1907.
that's a long
First
time
year they
ago.
dropped the ball.
I remember that year. I just wasn't up there. Yeah.
Oh, you remember that year?
Yeah,
You
I
were
just
floating
wasn't
around
up
there?
there.
Okay. You look good for 120 years old. Okay.
120 years old. Right. Well, let's reel this thing back on track here. We're getting off track, but what do you got today? Let's hear what we're going to discuss today.
So I was thinking, and I know I bounced it off you, of course, before we come on, just to make sure we're on the same page. But I was thinking that part of it is because it's that time of the year, and part of it is because there are so many good people out there doing good things, but just aren't recognized for it, that I thought we may want to just a short, conversation here about what are some of the things that you, and I mean you, but just general you, um, can do for somebody to make their lives just that little bit better, either on a daily basis, holiday season. What are some of those little things that you can do that may not even cost anything, but it can
Yeah,
change a person's life? And it can.
yeah,
So, one of the things I was thinking about, which most people don't do these days, which is a sad statement, say hello to somebody. Just say hello. Now, yes,
courtesy,
I
right?
understand you go to a stranger and say hello, you could get smacked. I get that. Okay. But, if you're standing far enough away, hey, how you doing? Have a great day. You don't have to know the person, just have a good day. Um,
It used to drive my kids crazy. I talk to anybody. That's how I am. I'm open. I'm very you see how I am talk to me. You know how I am. I can talk to anybody. And my kids be like, Dad, don't embarrass me. Dad, don't embarrass us. Now they're at the point that they see, that it's genuine, that I can talk to anybody. And
mhm.
you nailed it. I can talk to anybody. I say, hey, how you doing? And just like in New York, it was amazing. It's amazing. You start a conversation and people, they love it. They feel like, wow, a human connection again. Not
There-
stuck in my face and stuck in my phone.
yeah. There's not enough of that. Too many people do have their phone stuck up to their face. So say
Yeah.
hello to somebody. What if you were walking through and you held the door for somebody? Doesn't cost anything. Hold the door. So what? Takes you an extra 5 seconds to get where you're going. Hold the door. Um,
Interesting thing about that though, holding doors is this is where I live now, and this is in Maryland, not know if it's a New York thing or not, but here in Maryland, I'm finding that if you hold a door for people, it's weird. They look at you like, what are you doing? It's kind of become a thing that they don't care about. And they won't say thank you. They'll just keep going.
Correct. They don't
It's
say
kind of
thank
weird. Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
you.
Hmm.
So, as an offshoot of holding the door, and I never did this, but I always wanted to just to see what would happen. You hold the door and then you go like this and you put your hand out and see if you'll get a tip. I never did it, but I always wanted to see if somebody would give you
That's
whatever.
funny.
I mean, I wouldn't take it.
That'll be $1.99, please.
Yeah. Um, Same thing you just said. Say thank you to somebody. You go
Yeah,
into a restaurant, you go into a theater, you're somebody does something nice for you, say thank you. It doesn't cost anything, but it's a nice thing to do, certainly
yeah,
around the
right.
holidays. Little stuff
Absolutely.
like that really can make a person's day.
And it's true,
Um,
right? Because there are a lot of people right now who are struggling with lost family members. They're alone for the holidays,
right.
and saying something like acknowledging someone this time, the time of need, when it could make a big difference in somebody's life, man. That could go a long way.
Yeah. One of the things that I mean I try to do, have you ever heard the term be present?
Yes.
So for those who may not have heard that term, what it means is if you're talking to somebody, listen to them, be in the moment. Don't be
Yeah.
thinking about anything else because then you're just sitting there nodding like this and the void in your eyes because you're not there. Being present is a physical being there, but it's also a mental and an emotional being there. So if somebody has something they want to talk about, Give them a minute, give them 5 minutes. A lot of people talk because they have something they need to talk about. They need to get it off their chest. They're frustrated, they have a question, they're not sure. They're asking for somebody to listen to them. Again, it doesn't cost anything, but just listen to somebody. If they don't want your opinion, that's cool. Don't give it, okay? But if they ask, say, hey, I've been thinking about should I do A or B? What do you think? And
And
then give,
I'm glad you brought that up because this happened to me in the corporate world when, as a leader in a leadership role, I thought everybody wanted to hear what I had to say. And boy, was I wrong. You find out later that nobody cared about your personal thoughts or personal anything. When I was in the martial arts, working out and diet and exercise, I was critiquing everybody's food and they hated me for it. And I didn't realize I'm just thinking I'm helping out. They didn't
yeah,
want to hear it. They want
right.
you to shut up and let them eat their McDonald's. While I eat my salads.
No, no McDonald's. Burger King, maybe, no McDonald's.
Hard
Um,
lesson learned, Steve. Hard lesson learned.
oh,
But
I'm
I
sure.
took it, I understood it and moved on, figured it out.
It's the only thing, well, obviously you can keep doing it, but it's not going to really help you in the long run, short term or long term. So yeah, you're better off changing. Um, but if somebody, and I know this is tough because I go through the same thing here. If somebody, as you're walking down the street, may be asking for food, asking for something else, there's always that question again, which I struggle with is who do you give to and how much do you give? Because there's so many people in need, unfortunately. What do you do? Who do you give? So what one of the things that I started to do is I won't give money because you don't know what they're going to use it for.
Right.
But if somebody is obviously hungry, what I'll do is I'll go into a local store and I'll get them, a sandwich. I'll get them a jar of orange juice. I'll get them something to eat. I won't give money because you don't know again what they're going to use it for. Is it going to be for cigarettes, for drugs, for whatever, alcohol? Their choice, but not on my money.
On my dime, right?
Not on my money.
Yeah,
If
on
if
my
you really
dime.
need something, I'll give you. I have seen more lately than I've seen before when I'm driving and you get stuck in traffic. Homeless people coming along with signs, and instead of saying need money, a lot of those signs are saying need food. They found a place, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm not making any judgments of
Sure.
where to lay their head at night, whatever that may be. But and wherever it is, then there's no cost to it. But they can't buy food because they have no money. So a lot of places now, a lot of signs, people are saying, can you give me food? Can you give me a sandwich? Can you give me a soda? Can you give me something to eat?
Yeah.
It's a day-to-day thing, but if that's the way they're surviving, unfortunately, that's what it is. So do what you can. Doesn't mean again you have to help the world because there's just too many people and there's just not enough money and time to go around. But give to somebody. Again, what you do to somebody can help make their life. You know, there's always going to be people that have more than you, but there's also always going to be people that have less than you.
Yeah.
So one of the things the example that I've used in many occasions, if you've ever taken a plane and before the plane takes off, the flight crew goes through their, safety features of the plane. But one of the things they do it towards the end of that is they say, in the event that we lose oxygen, a mask will come down from the top. What do they tell you when the mask drops?
Better put yours on first because you can't help
There
nobody
you
to don't help yourself first.
That's exactly correct. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing here. If the mask comes down, put yours on first to help others on the plane.
Yeah.
If you're in your whatever your religious denomination is, whatever that is, if you're in a service, you can help the people next to you who are hurting if your own house isn't in order. If you don't have enough
Yeah.
food on the table for your family, how do you help somebody else?
Yeah.
But if you do have enough and you can spare that little loaf, the loaf of bread, the carton of milk, something, then you're in a position to help somebody else.
So true.
And
Yeah.
that's part of what this is help somebody else.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the charities around the holidays, do a little bit better. They get more donations and they dole it out to the people that really need it. I mean, there's a couple of
Yeah.
organizations here in New York on Long Island. One's called, I think it's called City Harvest, where they collect mass amounts of food and they donate it out to all these homeless shelters, which I think is a great thing. I really
Yeah.
do. Because if you're not getting food, then what are you doing? Then you may be resorting to other ways that may not be the best to get the food that you need.
Yeah.
So just give to somebody. It's the right thing to do. It's the good thing to do. That's just
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah. And while we're on that subject, I don't know about you, but do you volunteer? Do you have any time that you push to some organization or anything like that?
I I did once help Habitat for Humanity to build a house for somebody. Um, I mean, it was only once, okay, but I did that. Um, I'm also on the board of directors for two different charities, two different not-for-profits, that one helps veterans to try to get jobs, and the other one helps people whose kids have been diagnosed with cancer. So this organization, we collect donations and we'll pay a phone bill, we'll pay a food bill, we'll pay an electric bill. Because if you are having a challenge meeting your monthly expenses, if you will, and now you have the added expense of all the stuff with your child who has cancer, how do you make those trips to and from the treatment? How do you afford all the medication? How do you afford everything? So this organization, and I'm friends with a bunch of others who collect money and help at least for 1 month offset something. The taxis back and forth, the electric bill, the some
Right.
cases maybe a mortgage payment. It's something to help them at least breathe for a little bit.
Right.
So yeah, so it's a great feeling to help.
Yeah, that's the reason I brought that up is because I'm trying to figure out something that I can get involved in because as we've talked about before, I really want to help kids. I have a program, or I want to help kids who are about to start working,
Mhm.
who haven't really had the chance to maybe understand what interviewing is like, or they don't have the
Right.
customer experience skills. That's something I'm going to get involved in. I reached out to someone who actually worked for I think the YMCA.
Mm.
She said they have a program like that I could probably get involved with.
Right.
And I think that's what I'm going to do. My route is I want to donate some time to
Mm.
really help kids,
Yeah.
understand customer service and what it's going to be like to working in these places and
Yeah.
how things have changed, you know?
There are organizations, and off the top, I don't know the names, you'd have to do Google searches, but there are organizations that help kids with interviewing skills. There's organizations here in New York that collect clothes, but they have to be of a decent quality. And it's a store, and I know of one in particular, it's a store, and they have racks and racks and racks of men's clothes, I'll say male's clothes. And what this store does is if you had an interview, you can go in, get a decent pair of pants, a shirt, a jacket, a tie, go on the interview, and then just return it. And there's no cost because it's all
That's
donated.
impressive.
It
That's
is. Oh,
impressive.
absolutely is. Because then it gives a person an opportunity who may not have had that opportunity before at no cost because they have no money. How do you pay for it? So I think it's a great organization. I don't remember what the name of it is, and I'm sure there are plenty of them around, but they're great organizations. They're trying to help people better themselves.
Yeah. That's one of my 2025 goals to start out with is get involved and try to get this going forward with helping donate some time, to help out with kids who need to interview or customer service who are about to get a job so I can help, you know, give my input on what I feel customer service and customer experience should be and what they're going to experience, you know?
It is. It's a great
Yeah.
thing to do. I'm a, I know, and I've talked about this before, when I went through a really, really bad financial time a number of years ago, there were people who, at no cost to me, helped me and guided me on how to get to where I am today in a number of different areas. That's why now, when I have the opportunity to help other people at no cost to them, I do that because I was helped. I'm paying it forward to other people, and to me, it's just we're regardless of who you are, where you came from, what you look like, it doesn't matter. We're all part of the human race, and that's what a lot of people forget. It doesn't matter where you come from. We all walk, talk, breathe, eat, sleep, and a few other things like everybody else. I'm trying to keep this
Yeah.
somewhat clean. Um, but but people forget and they sit there and say, oh, he's got glasses, no good. He's got no hair, no good. He's got a beard, no good. He wears a certain type of hat, no good. Why is it no good? Why?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't.
Yeah.
And that's why I do what I do is I try to help as many people as I can.
And that's why I push entrepreneurship so much because a lot of corporations, they want who they want.
Yes.
And they will do everything they can on the shady side to not give anybody a chance because you don't have a degree or you don't look right, you didn't smell right, you don't taste right, whatever the case may be, they're just they're not fair, you know. And I've seen it firsthand,
They're
you know.
not fair. They want
Yeah.
who they want.
Yep.
Um, if you're not willing to give people an opportunity, and we've heard these stories many times before, how many times did Colonel Sanders fail before he found KFC? How many times did Edison
1001.
fail before he found the light bulb?
Yeah.
How many times did Bell
Yep.
fail before the phone hit? I mean, if you think about all the times that all these people failed, but they didn't stop, they kept trying. And at some point, somebody believed in them.
Yeah.
Why
Yep.
not? Let people try. A lot of the things we have today were done by chance. We're done by trial and error. Somebody
Yep.
wouldn't wake up one day and say, "Hey, I'm going to build a car." Do you really? Okay. You have any idea what it takes? But it takes trial and error, takes a lot of time,
Yeah.
effort, money, takes a lot of things to do that. But don't give
Yep.
up. Don't give up.
And one thing I can add to that to say is, you know, you have to, I struggle with this as well. You have to get out of your own mind when it comes to this because we are our own worst enemy and we
Yes.
will talk ourselves out of anything just to not keep going when it gets hard, you know. And I struggle with that on a daily basis. It's tough. I mean, we just had a conversation right
Yeah.
before this podcast, is don't give up. Don't give up,
Don't give up.
you know. Yep.
People have ideas, and a lot of them are very good ideas. But society is such that, and it's unfortunate, but it's such that, hey, Charles, I have this idea. What do you think? And in most cases, Charles is going to sit there and say, nah, no good. Not because the idea may not be good, but the fact that if Charles is not successful, Charles doesn't want Steve to be successful. And unfortunately, that's what happens. So Charles imposes his opinion on Steve. Steve then says, yeah, maybe it's not so good. And there goes the idea.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what happens. Instead of Charles saying, you know what, that's a great idea, go for it.
Yep. Truth. Truth.
Yeah.
That's why I am where I am because people did not believe in me. And for those people who did not believe in me, put me in the right position to do that I can believe in myself and what I'm capable of doing now because I'm right where I want to be, you
And
know?
that's a big deal. To be where
Yeah.
you want to be
Yeah.
is a big deal.
Yep.
Doesn't mean
I
you
want
have
to
to.
help as many people as I can.
Mhm.
And whether it's beating on doors, walking in buildings, and just getting in front of people, man. I want to help as many people as I can, show
That's
them that their business is worthy and keep them pushing forward.
people love to hear and they need to hear that they are good, that they are doing a good job, they are helping others. Don't stop.
Yeah,
Too much of that does not happen. So after a certain point of being in business, you sit there and say, why am I doing this?
yeah,
But there's a reason. Look how many people you're helping,
yep,
changing lives, giving jobs to people, doing whatever you're doing. Yeah, there's reasons why you're doing what you're doing.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And it goes
And
back to,
going back to your statement about people that need to hear that they're doing good. That's actually one of the love languages called words of affirmation. And I have done the research, read the book, and that is 100% my love language is words of affirmation. I need to hear
right.
that I'm doing good. That pushes me so far when people tell me I'm doing good, or even if I'm
Mhm.
not doing good, I'm in the wrong
Right.
direction, whatever. But when
Yeah,
I hear those words of affirmation, man, it makes me just it drives me, you know?
it does.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned this before. Around 2003, I had changed jobs and I started working for some offshore companies. So I did a lot of travel back and forth overseas, doesn't matter where. And one of my first trips over, there was an independent company that did a survey of a huge number of people that were in the IT outsourcing space. And the question was one question. What it said was, what's the number one reason that you stay with your company? And they showed the top five. Number five was money. What came numbers one through four? And I forget the order, but numbers one through four, the opportunity to learn, be appreciated,
Appreciate it.
um, get a
Yeah.
promotion. It's that
Yep.
self value that people wanted more than the money.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
need, to your point, they need that affirmation of, I
Yep.
can do, I can get ahead, I can be better, I can help other people.
Yeah. When I was in the corporate world, just because I listened to people and guided them to what they felt they needed and wanted, just it took me to the top, because that went so far because I listened. That's all that mattered to him. Chuck listened. He cared. He showed that he was genuinely into what I wanted as an individual, you know? And
Yeah,
you can't take that away, you know?
yeah. People want it.
Yep. So good stuff. Appreciate you, man. That's a heartfelt one, man, because
Yeah,
you know that's basically what I'm about. That's my business is showing and fixing these things that need to be pulled out, good, the bad, the ugly, and
right.
and I love to help.
It's an admirable trait,
Yeah,
especially in today's times where
yeah.
people are becoming more and more self-centered. It's all
Entitled,
about me. What's in
entitlement.
it for
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah.
It's got to change.
Yeah. I'm trying to do it one person at a time, and I'm doing a pretty good job of it. I'm hitting people on a daily basis, and they're loving what I do. I show them my website, and they appreciate me talking the way I do, and
Mhm.
you know, just being the person I am that
Right.
has this personality that anybody can talk to me. I'm easy to get along with, and they appreciate that.
That's
So
a good thing. Don't change.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
change. Yeah.
Not for the world, man. Nope. I'm who I am and pushing forward, you know?
Good. Good. Don't
Yeah.
ever quit.
Yep. Last thought, Steve. What you got?
Um, it's a holiday season.
Be
Smile.
nice.
Smile.
Be nice.
Nice. Um, the season comes around once a year. Be happy, do something good, for yourself, for your family, for strangers. Just do something good. It's a once a year thing. Um, Forget the nonsense that's going on in this world. Be the beacon of hope. Be the beacon of light for somebody. Again,
Yeah.
it doesn't take a lot. Say thank you, say please, hold a door. Just do something nice for somebody.
Yeah. 100%. Yep. Love it. Steve, thanks again, man. Been a pleasure. Friday
Absolutely.
at 4 podcast series
Yep. Yep. Because
because
it's 4 o'clock somewhere.
I love it. Steve,
Yeah.
enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy
Me
the
too.
weekend, and we'll chat soon, buddy.
You got it. Thanks, Charles.
Take
Have a
care.
great
Yes,
Take
sir.
care, everyone.
Enjoy, man. Take care.
You got it. Take care.